All right, welcome back. You can do more to create a happier and kinder world when you connect with others and unite together in a peaceful and loving manner. Well, now you know, and we're glad to tell you again that today is International Day of Happiness, marked every year on March the 20th. And this year's theme is Happier Together. Now, at this time of uncertainty and conflict, with lots of issues in our world right now, we can't always change what is happening, but we can definitely choose how we respond because happy society are healthier and more productive and even more peaceful. Now, make someone happy today by giving positive comments about them and really listening to what people have to say without judging them and reaching out to a friend, family, or colleague for support. Well, that's if you can. And even if you can't, you might have some level of solution to that situation. Well, that's about our second topic for today, and we definitely will be diving into it almost immediately. Now, to analyze all of this and, of course, talk about it with us is Dr. Bolade Adeniran, who is a public health advocate. A very good morning to you this morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right. Now, International Day of Happiness. How does this day contribute to promoting global well-being and equity?
Thank you very much. This topic is very important because, like we've heard earlier, if you are not happy, you are not likely to be productive. You are not likely to be productive because you will do most things from a negative point of view. Happiness makes you to see virtually everything from positive side of life. So happiness, like we said, will increase productivity. It even boosts our immunity. It makes us to be healthier. Even when you fall sick, if you are happy, if you are the happy type, we've realized that when people are on admission for same situation, same diagnosis, the one with happy attitude, with a positive attitude, is likely to get better.
Yeah, well, are we talking positive attitude or happiness?
Happiness.
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 Itself, isn't it affected
It's one of the
by
positive
certain things around our vicinity?
Thank you very much. We can say happiness many times can be determined by what is happening around.
Okay.
You will say I did not say all of the time. I say many times.
Right.
Okay.
Meaning that we have a part to play, such that even when negative happenings around want to tilt us to the other side and not be happy, we have a power because we can learn to be happy and we can choose to be happy even amidst difficulties. Because if we look deep, there will be one or two ways we can view something that will make us not to stay too long in this negative part of that problem.
All right. Talking about looking at another way that will make us not to be or dwell more in the negative part. We are Nigerians.
Yes.
Before now, Nigeria happened to be the number 8 in the ranking. I'm talking about 2003. And even in 2012 too, they were also be recognized as, 80% of us in Nigeria are happy. But now Nigerians are not smiling.
It would be nice for us to have that statistics on the screen as we talk about this. Yes.
Right? But now
Yes,
Nigerians are
there
not
you have
smiling,
Yes.
We have Mauritius now become the happiest in, I'm talking about happiest in Africa. And okay, that is it on the screen. And Algeria, South Africa, Congo, number 4, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Gabon, before we then get to Nigeria. Now, what do you have to say about it? Because recent happening in Nigeria actually is not really we're not smiling again, no talking like that. If we get to Delta State now, people there are not smiling. Okay. Yes, so what do you actually think we need to do for us to, because not be able to go look at, because say, maybe we can smile join now.
All right. In fact, this is if we've not been celebrating it before now, this is the time that we should even remind ourselves about International Day of Happiness. Let's look at Nigeria as a case study. Like you said, things are tough. But there's this old saying that many of us seems to have forgotten. They say when there is life, there is hope. Number one, that we are even happy to witness the hardship makes us by far better than many other people. That's number one. Number two is that sometimes we forget that not being sick is a big blessing. Sometimes it's when we experience the worst side of whatever bad thing we are experiencing now that we think things are tough. It's when we now say, this is more terrible. God forbid, things can be worse. We don't pray it get worse. We don't pray it get worse. So we should be positive that number one, we are alive. Then number two, there is hope. Things can still get better. I remember the days when I was growing up, when I was much more younger than this. There was a time that we felt things was getting tougher and tougher. And in the twinkling of an eye, maybe when democracy, when that 1999 stroke 2000, and things suddenly got better. If we had lost hope when things were tough, are we going to still be who we are today? So there is always hope when we are alive. That's number one.
All right. I am made to understand that, well, the producer has made us to understand that we have a call. We'll probably entertain this call. Let's speak to the caller. If the caller is still, well, Derek. We have Derek on the line. Good morning to you, Derek.
Good morning, sir. Eric is Eric. Eric Onyema. Eric. Yes.
Well, I believe Derek is speaking, but we can't exactly hear him from within the studio. Good morning once again, Derek. Would you call yourself a happy Nigerian? Where are you calling us from, by the way?
Yes, I will call myself a happy Nigerian because there's hope.
Okay. Okay, because there's hope. What have you hinged your hope on?
The hope that Nigeria is going to be a better country because there is God.
Where are you calling from, Derek?
I'm calling from Japan.
Okay. So Derek is one of those Nigerians that believe that there is hope, and regardless of what is going on in the country, regardless of the kidnappings, regardless of the hunger, there is hope.
Derek, I know you can hear us. So we're going to ask you just one question, and we hope you'll be able to get it. And of course, in the spirit of happiness, we want to gift you something from our sponsor, Viva Detergent. Now, the question is very simple. If you've been following us from the beginning of this conversation, what is the theme? What is the theme of this year's International Happy Day?
What is the theme of
the theme of today's International Day of Happiness? What's the theme for this year's International Day of Happiness?
The team, I didn't get you well.
All right, well, Derek doesn't. Well, Derek, thank you very much for calling. We totally appreciate your call. Now, let's get back to Dr. Bolade Adeniro. Now, what role does social media play in all of this? I want to quickly get this one out there. What role does social media play in all of this? I see people on social media put out pictures, put out things, put out smileys on their status and all of that. Let me give you a quick example. I have a friend who had a relative that was in the hospital. Now, this person reached out to me and told me, oh, my relative's in the hospital, blah, 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 blah. And then before I could call, I was about to make a call, a WhatsApp call, and then I saw the status. This person was just, happy. I'm like, are you serious? What exactly? And then, when I was able to get through, and look, are you sure your relative's in the hospital and you're there with her and you're doing it? He's like, I was sad, but I just had to do this to make myself feel good. Isn't that deceitful? No. Doesn't that add to depression when you're not facing what you feel for real and you have to be on social media with a smiley face, acting like you're all happy, but deep down inside you're not happy? What role does social media play in all of this?
Social media, thanks to so many comedians that we have online now, they are really helping us to stay happy.
Oh, skip makers.
Yes, they are really doing well. I appreciate them a lot. In fact, oftentimes, most of my status too is comedy. Oftentimes. Because I see that it generates healthier conversation.
Right.
When you lament too much, when you rant too much, it doesn't necessarily mean that solution will come. But when you are happy, you attract better people to your life. You attract correct people to your life. When you are sad, before you know it, your friends will be more of people who think negatively. So like you said, the role of that person that posted happy status on her, happy mood on her status, is when you heard about the news, that you are just hearing about the news. The person quickly left the state of not being happy about the situation in the hospital. And now said, well, this thing has happened. Even if I continue to feel sad, solution will not come. So maybe when the person chose to lighten his mood up, that was when his brain began to reason that, okay, and I can reach out to people for help. I can call this person, I can call this person. But when you stay too long in a situation that is not making you to be happy,
but we also do know that
the solution will not even come on time.
We also do know that depression, the rate of depression has increased.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw the statistics in Africa. Nigeria used to be one of the top 3 happiest nations and the happiest African countries in the world, but we've dropped. And then we are having a lot of suicide attempts, suicidal happenings and thoughts as well. How is people trying to look happy actually help them be happy?
It's not everybody that even cultivates the habit of trying to look happy. You understand? So if we want to analyze it, we would rather say that those that are choosing to be happy, are they really happy? But if we are thinking, are people really happy? Are people choosing to be happy? I don't know if...
What's the psychological the psychological impression? That's what I'm trying to get to, the psychology of it.
Okay. I don't know if you heard me when I said it earlier that you can even choose to be happy.
Even when nothing to make
even when the situation looks like this is terrible, you can learn how to be happy. You can choose to be happy. Amidst is what I've practiced and has worked for me. So I'm not just saying it based on what I read in the books.
Okay.
That's why I said the way we see things, the way we process it, we determine how we will put up something.
Does religion play a part in all of these things?
It plays a lot.
Tell me.
Religion plays a lot.
It.
You understand? Even the Bible, I'm a Christian, say we should, there is no how we not face tribulation, but we should be of good cheers because our Father in heaven has conquered whatever is happening to us. So many times when we see that thing as a temporary thing that will definitely pass, it makes us to face it with courage. That is why some people have learned how to cut down their expenses. It's not just about any more money that solves your problem. Sometimes cutting down some expenses. But if you have chosen to fix your mind to the problem, and you did not think of it in a positive way, it won't even occur to you that you can cut down some expenses and you will still be living without debt. But when you focus too much on this problem, school fees has increased, tea fare has increased, price of fuel has increased, this life is terrible. Before you know it, suicidal thoughts will start coming in. It will look like this is the dead end. But when you see it from a positive side and you see whatever has happened, I will go to church. If you see me in church, I dance a lot. That thing helps me a lot. It doesn't mean that before I left home, there was no one or two things that may want to bother me. But I'll be like, I don't have to focus on this problem. And by the time I take the problem, I put it aside, I dance to my God, I relate with people cheerfully. When I come back, my brain will think of solution.
So you're saying now those people who actually have their mental health, not really in a positive direction, that they need to, re-strategize. Now, what are the things actually you're suggesting? Because some people watching us this morning actually have a lot of things in their mind. Now, these ones are not the ones that woke up and say, I want to lie to myself. Those things that are there, they are evident. So what are the things you think they can actually, measures they need to put for the mental health actually to start healing again?
Number one, in every situation, there are things that we have power over. And there are things we don't have power over. So, let's now ask ourselves, what are the things I have power over? We channel our energy to that. The things we don't have power over, we leave it alone. Let me cite...
Serenity prayer.
Sir?
The serenity prayer.
Let Let me cite an example. Now, TIFI has gone up. Many of us here, at least, I may not know our age, but I can say when we were growing up, in our primary school days, don't we trek long distance?
We were younger then.
We enter school bus.
We were younger.
We enter school bus.
Some of us were younger then. And
Yeah.
then
You
we could
understand?
trek.
Not necessarily even school. There are some distances that we could trek then.
But you-
That now, because things are better financially, we stopped it.
No, well, you could trek in uniform, your school uniform, and sweat, and it's not a problem.
And then
When you
security
get
was
home,
also
mommy
better.
will wash it.
Yes.
Mommy will wash it. But then, you want to trek in your suit, going to work?
No, I'm not saying trekking going to work. I'm trying to say that there are some of the luxury we've pampered our children with, that it is our fault. Because when we have it in abundance, we're like, I have it, always have this. I have it, always have this. So even as our children are growing up, there are some things that we let them have some experience.
So let them do some trekking.
Let them do some trekking that is not too far.
distort their mind
David
and
said
say
something.
school.
David said something about security.
Yeah,
Well, then we had Gomo.
God bless you. I'm happy you are not even call it kidnapper.
What is
Gomo?
Don't worry, we'll talk about that later. But we still had it then.
There
Oh my
are some
goodness.
short distance that you can still allow them do. You understand? Some of the time, if you are not the type that drives to work, you can even say, okay, normally you leave home 7 a.m. Let's leave 6:45. We'll do the trekking together. I'm just citing that as an instance. You understand? So there are things that you have power over. So we don't have to fix our mind. They must go by school bus. It is a must. They must go by tricycle. It is a must. The distance, you can cut it into two, trek a little, transport, use public transport and the likes. I'm just citing that as an instance. Even our meal. There are times that you may need to switch. Oh, it's rice that we are eating. We can actually boil egg for rice. It does not have to be meat and fish all of the time. I know egg is expensive, but egg will always be cheaper than fish and meat. So there are ways that we can always make some adjustments. And before we know it, we will see that we've avoided some debts. But when we fix our mind to the financial status that
Okay, so what's
we
your
have
advice
left.
now? What's your advice to Nigerians in general, in spite of, in the face of what we're going through, the hardship Nigerians are facing right now, no food and everything, prices of things going up, and Nigerians are expected to stay happy. What's your advice?
My advice is, like I said earlier, we can learn how to be happy.
Learn how to be happy.
We can choose to be happy.
Choose to be happy.
We should focus on things we have power on.
Okay.
The things we don't have power on, we learn how to cope with it. What you don't have power on, power over, if you don't learn how to cope with it, the other option is to keep frustrating yourself. So you learn how to cope. Whatever
So
we
do
can
your best and
adjust.
leave the rest.
Do your best and leave the rest. Before you know it, happiness.
Okay, now you of course that's practically advice for Nigerians. Now, I want you to possibly talk to the government at this point as a public health advocate, knowing full well that practically what you do is relate very directional to the public, and of course you know how Nigerians are at this point. What would be your advice to the government as to helping the citizens stay happy?
All right. At this point, I don't know. Many people have tried to be on their own. I mean, to be self-employed.
Right.
If there are measures to encourage people to be self-employed, a number of people are ready to make efforts. But the frustration of you have to pay this, you have to pay that. If some people can enjoy tax relief, especially those just coming up, if there are soft loans that they can give people, that will be monitored though.
Right.
Not the one they will give loan and some people will use it to go and do in-laws funeral. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
So that we will be able to produce as many things as possible. If we are able to produce many things by ourselves in this country, the cost of many things will go down, and there will be more employment opportunity
All right,
for
we must say thank you to Dr. Bolade Adeniro, public health advocate, for coming on the program.
Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate you
Thank you,
for
sir.
your thoughts there. All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into other parts of the show. Business is up next. Stay with us.